Welcome back, everyone. Christopher McQuarrie just revealed the Superman, Man of Steel movie he pitched with Henry Cavill, and it's wild. This was just before James Gunn was hired and completely rebooted the DC universe with David Cornsweet's Superman, which we're all about to see in just a few months. To their credit, McQuarrie and Cavill aren't throwing shade at James Gunn or Cornsweet. They're being real dudes about it, respectful of the movie that's about to release. But let's break down how McQuarrie's version of Man of Steel 2 differed from Zack Snyder's vision, and what plans they had for Cavill's Superman before the big DCU reset. Christopher McQuarrie, known for Mission Impossible, Fallout, and Edge of Tomorrow, started working with Cavill during Fallout, around the same time the whole Justice League fiasco was going down. Yep, we're talking Mustache Gate. Cavill had already grown a mustache for Mission Impossible, and when the Justice League reshoots hit, Warner Bros. Needed him clean-shaven. McQuarrie was cool with it. He arranged with Warner Bros. For Cavill to shave, but a Paramount exec shut it down. So we got that horrific CGI upper lip in the theatrical cut of Justice League. That's why in the Snyder cut, all filmed before the reshoots, Cavill's face looks totally normal. Fast forward to 2019. Zack Snyder had already left the studio, but Henry Cavill was still technically Superman. At CinemaCon that year, people started asking Christopher McQuarrie about his pitch for Man of Steel 2, since he'd just worked with Cavill. Turns out McQuarrie was actually pitching a Green Lantern reboot first, specifically centered on Hal Jordan. And get this, Cavill's Superman would have been a major supporting character in that film. Then, after the Green Lantern movie, McQuarrie would direct Man of Steel 2. This is where things start to split. Zack Snyder's plan for Cavill's Superman was epic. Justice League 2, Justice League 3, time travel, multiverse, the redemption arc, the whole 9 yards. And only after that trilogy would we get a Man of Steel 2, set in the present day. Meanwhile, McQuarrie had his own path. First, a grounded Green Lantern reboot with Cavill's Superman. Then, a standalone Man of Steel 2 that was separate from Snyder's timeline. Totally different arc, no multiverse, no nightmare, no anti-life equation. When Black Adam hit theaters in 2022, Cavill returned in the post-credits scene, and fans were hyped. He even released a video confirming his return and teasing more Superman on the way. There was talk of a full 10-year DC plan, including a Crisis on Infinite Earth-style event. But then, boom, James Gunn was hired. The reboot was on. Cavill's Superman was out. Gunn announced Superman, Legacy with David Cornsweet, and effectively reset the board. Cavill's return, dead on arrival. Henry Cavill handled it all with class. He's spoken respectfully about James Gunn and even left the door open for a possible return. Just not as Superman. Maybe as a general or some multiverse variant. Fans even speculated that he could be the black-suited evil Superman clone, possibly Ultraman, in Gunn's Superman movie. But as of now, that character seems to just be a corrupted version of David Cornsweet's Superman. Not Cavill under the mask. Cavill for now has moved on. He's diving into projects where he has more creative control. He's producing and starring in Amazon's Warhammer 40K series, a personal dream project. He's been cast in the Highlander reboot, and yes, he's attached to the live-action Voltron movie. He's choosing roles that align with his passions, and where he gets to shape the story himself. So, what do you think of Christopher McQuarrie's pitch for a Green Lantern-led DC story, with Cavill's Superman along for the ride? And do you think Cavill was robbed of a proper Superman sequel? Let's be honest. When it comes to the chaos around Superman in the last decade, the real blame lies with Warner Bros. Executives and lawyers pulling the strings behind the scenes. They mishandled Cavill, they dropped the ball on Snyder's universe, and they created a decade of confusion. But hey, we're about to enter the summer of Superman with David Cornsweet, and Comic-Con's just around the corner. There are trailers, reveals, and more surprises on the way, so it's not all doom and gloom. If you want more breakdowns, click here for my Superman playlist. And click here to watch my deep dive into Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3 plot, because it is absolutely wild. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.